It's the Red River Valley Motorcyclist Spirit of America Bike and Car Show, Saturday and Sunday, May 3rd and 4th at the Alara Center in Grand Forks, and they're looking for sponsors and vendors. This is a great opportunity to get your business noticed by thousands of people for this 2 long days of this awesome event. If you'd like to get your business noticed, or if you'd like a booth, contact Sarah, 763-568-1946, or Dennis at 701-741-5205. There'll be a raffle with over $90,000 worth of prizes, including a Polaris 1000 North Star Ultimate Crew Cab Ranger, a Harley-Davidson Street Glide, and Polaris Sportsman 570, with the net proceeds benefiting the Veterans Honor Flight of North Dakota, Minnesota. And veterans are absolutely free. Find out more by going to rrvmnd.org. Red River Valley Motorcyclist Spirit of America Bike and Car Show, Saturday and Sunday, May 3rd and 4th at the Alara Center in Grand Forks.
You used to roar on open roads. Well, baby, let's be clear. You ain't that tough anymore, I fear. You ain't bad no more. You ain't bad no more. You ain't bad no more. You rumble up through each town, rattling windows, shaking the ground. But now your roar is just a whisper, fading out like an old transistor. No, baby, it's plain to see. You ain't what you used to be. No, baby, it's plain to see. You light a fire with every tire scream, but now you're just a shadow of a dream. We once stood tall and proud, unashamed. Now it's just a memory, nothing but a name. No, baby, it's plain to see. You ain't what you used to be. Once we were kings of the night, burning rubber under moonlight. Stars and stripes, power and might, but somewhere along the way, oh, we lost that fight. No, baby, what's happened here? We ain't that fierce machine out here. We were the rebels, hearts made of chrome. Now we're like ghosts, nowhere to call home. Flags that waved in glory's prime now hang limp beside of the time. No, baby, it's plain to see. We ain't as wild and free. Rust on our steel, dust on our pride. Once the road was ours, now we've lost the ride. Faded dreams and tarnished signs, America, where did we cross that line? No, baby, it's so clear. We ain't bad to the bone, I fear. White picket fences, dreams sold for cheap. We gave up the fight, now it's a long, long sleep. We were the heartbeat, loud and strong. Now we're just an echo, where did it go wrong? No, America, it's so clear. We lost that edge, I fear.
Remember Jack and Jill went up that hill, fetching water, but they got their fill. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, but it's the bar and not that wall. Little Bo Peep lost them sheep, bars and drinks, can't get no sleep. Old Mother Hubbard, she went to her cupboard, found nothing but gin, but dogs in the shower. Itsy bitsy spider climbed up the pub spout. Down came the vodka and washed the spider out. Dirty nursery rhymes in this honky-tonk night. Limericks and laughter till the morning light. Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made them high. Mary had a little lamb, her fleece was soaked in gin. Everywhere that Mary went, the party was a sin. Dirty nursery rhymes in this honky-tonk night. Limericks and laughter till the morning light.
Twinkle, twinkle in the bar's dim light, how I wonder where you'll land tonight. Simple Simon met a pie man with whiskey in his eye. One shot too many, they're both flying high. Old King Cole, a merry old soul, smoking cigarettes from a molasses bowl. Reverend Skrilla, have you any booze? Yes sir, got plenty to choose. Three blind mice stumbled through the door, drank a little moonshine, now they're looking for more. Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck one, he spilled his rum, and now he's feeling quite locked. Hey diddle diddle, the cat's on the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moonshine sill. The little dog laughed to see such sport, but the dish ran away to the honky-tonk court. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, jumped over the bar for another drink mix.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special Renegade Radio edition of my podcast. Normally, we do the show live on Monday nights, but today, this afternoon, on this fine Wednesday afternoon here, we are doing a special tribute to the man, the myth, the legend, Greg Kihn. You all know how much of a big fan I am of Greg Kihn. It's pretty much somebody who was one of the as many singers as I loved throughout my life. Greg definitely had a special influence on me as far as the things that I do and what I still do in my life. Well, I wanted to get my whole idea was to get as many people involved as I could, but I only was able to get one person, and that person is joining me right now. His name is Robert Berry. Welcome to the show, Robert. Good to see you.
Hey, Sean. How you doing, man?
Good. I'm just so happy that this worked out. The only other idea that I had was to have Ryan come by, but you said he was in Thailand, eh?
Ryan's in Thailand. He actually plays in a band there and does, he gives guitar lessons online, so he can be anywhere and do that. But we're hopefully be back here to do a bigger tribute, but we did one without him last weekend. So anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Well, before we get things started and before we really, start the interview, I wanted to share something that, to kick off the tribute, something that I don't know if you were aware of this or not, but last year after he passed away, I kind of, and I know a lot of artists hate this, idea because it's like, it's like stealing away from the artist, but it wasn't really me trying to steal anything from Greg. I created like an AI song,
Yeah.
but in tribute, and I wanted just to play it to you real quick, just to share it with you. I'm not making any money off of it or anything. It's just something I have made just through imagination and everything. So,
Okay.
just wanted to get your opinion, and then we'll start the tribute interview. All right.
All right, man.
All right, cool.
Out on the highway, as he roams, yeah, legendary man, happy as he can, got lucky, breaking up the show, run! He's got a purpose, no fear in his stride, chaos in his wake, taking it in style, tearing through the city, making headlines, Jeopardy disrupted, a legend on the rise, with a roar in his heart, hey, hey, he's the man of the hour, watch him play, out on the streets he's making waves. Legendary man. Oh, yeah, yeah. No chains can bind his soul. Got lucky, breaking through control. Run! Legendary man. Out on the streets he's making waves. Legendary man. Got lucky. Breaking up the show. Run. He's got a purpose. No fear in his stride. Oh no, chaos in his wake. Taking it in style. Tearing through the city. Making headlines. A trail of thunder. He blazes through the night. Rules have no meaning. He's out of sight. With a chuckle and a chase, he'll outpace the light. No boundaries hold him. No end in sight. With a roar in his heart, hey, hey, he's the man of the hour. Watch him play. Yeah. Legendary man, happy as he can. Got lucky, breaking up the show. Run! Legendary man.
Well, what do you think then?
You're obviously a musician and a singer, right?
No,
So-
not me. Not me. No, I just did it all through AI. I came up with the idea to do like a Greg Kihn tribute song, put some ideas together, put some lyrics together. And
So you're not playing the guitar. I was going to say, I think you're
I'm not
more of a Who fan than a Greg Kihn fan. That had more Who influence.
I thought it kind of had kind of his style because he kind of like maybe in his later days, when you guys were playing and everything, it seemed like you guys were going for that Runaways type of style or whatever.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where the guitars were going anyway. So
No, it It was good. I'm just hearing some who in there. That's all.
Okay, no, that's fine. If you notice that I use some of the titles from his songs in the song as well, like "Break Up" and
Oh
"Lucky"
yeah.
and "Happy" and all that. Those are little key Easter eggs or whatever. I don't know. I it's all on TikTok. I mean, I just do it for fun. It's nothing. I'm not obviously not a millionaire. I'm not making any money doing any of this stuff. But I thought maybe it's something that you can enjoy. So.
Yeah. Anything that celebrates Greg is good with me. It's
Okay.
I
Perfect.
was very disappointed that the Grammys didn't show him. As hard as it is for me to watch the Grammy show on TV because there's so much crap on there, it really upset me that they didn't show him because Greg was sort of a triple threat. He wasn't just a musician. I mean, he was a musician where they use his song Jeopardy in the Super Bowl. He's a
Yeah.
musician that wrote a song that has the words where every bar band in the world plays it. He's a little bit different. Plus, he was an author. Plus, he had the biggest radio show here in Silicon Valley. Amazing. And I mean, I saw them mention somebody that worked for the Grammy company. Really? We wouldn't even know who that is. And here Greg's left out, just it was upsetting.
Now, do you like have like power of attorney for
No.
Greg or whatever, or just
No, it's the thing when you die and you're married, there's survivor's rights. Your wife has, the ownership of things. Um, you know, Greg had a manager that took care of all the business and stuff, and even his job now is done because they sold the catalog to a big publishing company. And the Greg Kihn business is done, except for what his wife's name is Jay. What Jay and I want to do, we have 2.5 albums of new material. One about 11 songs complete. The other ones are we have guitar, kind of a click track, and his voice on, just waiting for Rye and drums and whatever else. But I really have 2.5 albums of new material done, ready to go. So,
wow. Well, I know he was always saying that he was constantly working with in the studio. That's why he kind of just wanted to take a break from touring and stuff. He wanted to focus on the future, so to speak.
yeah, well, we wanted to play a lot more. He was in here every Thursday. We made them for many, many years. That's why we have so many songs. Some that didn't work out, but there's 28 that did, to almost 30, and that's almost 3 albums actually. In Greg Kihn terms, they had 10 songs on them, right? So
Yeah. That the normal ways that completes an album. Sometimes I don't
yeah,
like how some people just go with 8. Some nowadays, some people do and all that, and it's just like that's not a complete album. We get, unless they're all long songs, and you're like Pink Floyd again or whatever. But that's
yeah.
that's a whole different story then.
No,
But
we have to get Rye back. Rye's got to get back from Thailand to finish up the next batch. The first 10 are done, 11 are done, and little by little, something will happen with them. We're not quite sure which way to release them now, but there's some really great songs. Oh my God, he was excited about it. Greg even wrote a song called "Flying Car." And a couple of years ago we started on that because this flying car was just starting to get to be an interesting subject. Now it's going crazy, right? They have pilotless flying taxis. They have flying drones for a single person. And he was like way ahead of his time with that. And I'm just waiting for the right opportunity to get one of these companies to use that song.
Was he a big Back to the Future fan at all because of the whole DeLorean and everything?
Yeah, he was, but he liked horror films even more.
Oh, okay.
Big horror film guy. He loved that. In fact, one of my favorite songs of his is called "Horror Show."
Yes, that's on Spotify. That's where I found that. That's an album that a lot of people don't even talk about, but they should, because that's
right.
some good stuff there. Some good stuff there. Really good.
I played that last weekend. We did 2 celebration shows. Not the official big tribute because Rye's not here, and we did. The manager hasn't got it together, but I had to do something. So we did 2 shows at a beautiful theater here in Silicon Valley, and people came up. Guy did Horror Show solo. They go, "Wow, what a great song!" Because they'd never heard it before.
Sure. Yeah, that's the thing, and I think we've talked about this before because you and I have obviously spoken before.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that was back during when we did audio interviews, and I think that was when I was still in South Dakota. Now I'm in Minnesota now doing Renegade Radio, and work at a local casino, as my actual paid job. So,
very good.
but I do remember, like we were talking about, about a lot of radio stuff because, I've seen how Greg was also a DJ as well, or announcer and everything. And, people don't realize there's a difference between the two, going out and doing, DJ events and then actually being a radio announcer. But that's a story for another time. For the people of the radio industry who decide what songs are the best or what songs are not. And I feel like, I wrote an article about this too after Greg died, and I put it on the fan page anyway, the Greg Kihn fan page, and it was about the comparisons between two people that I obviously love for musicians. I have Greg Kihn and Del Shannon. I feel like they were kind of similar in style because they both kind of got they're only known for a few songs on the radio, but they've done hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of songs, and Del got popular more in the UK than he was in the United States, and I don't know if that was the same for Greg at all, but I feel like they had a lot in common, being known for only a few hits and people not knowing what their real catalog was and everything.
Yeah, Greg he made it bigger in the U.S., although Germany played the hell out of Jeopardy and some other of the countries there. But he was a U.S. kind of guy. That's where he got his main fame,
But was he? I suppose at this point, in his life, he wasn't really going to argue the fact that he was known for what he was known for. But I feel like as an artist, when you have a lot of good stuff that you're working on, a lot of the filler stuff, we'll just say, even some of that filler stuff can be really, really magical. I don't understand why a lot of record or radio stations don't want to be like, hey, let's play this track. Let's surprise the audience with something different.
It used to be that way, but now they have consultants. And it's worse than that. For the last 20 years, they've had consultants that give them a playlist of what people want to hear, supposedly. Now, of course, they have to be super careful because internet radio is taken over and Spotify is taken over, and radio has become not such a good job to have. So they got to be super careful that the advertisers want to be on their station and hitting the right demographics and everything. It's really tough.
When I did my radio show back in the day, I did, I involved a lot of music, but for this podcast that I do, it's all just talk, so
yeah.
I think I like that format sometimes more than I like the music formats, because at least with talk, you get something different all the time. You don't always get the same conversations all the time.
Yeah. Greg was good at that too. He's quite a talker. He had lots of stories, and his radio show was, besides the music, was him and Chris Jackson, who actually did these concerts with me over the weekend.
I saw that.
He'd pitter patter back and forth about all kinds of things, and people just love that part of his show.
I think that's great that you got that guy on, because he seemed like he was like the missing piece of the puzzle. Like he could have been a bandmate of you guys, probably, if he really wanted to be.
Yeah.
It seemed like I didn't know he even had that type of talent because a lot of people think, oh, you're just a radio announcer, that's all you know how to do. Well, some of these people know how to do other things, Seems like it anyway. Well, that's good though. I'm glad that it worked out for you, at least to do your part. To feel like you needed to do this. Now, how long did it take to get this to from the time you saw the idea till it actually happened? How long did it take to
for the
to
show?
make it happen? Yeah.
Well, there was a month of me saying, because we did, Chris is a great musician, by the way. Chris Jackson, Greg's radio partner, great piano player, great guitar player, and they asked me to do this, and I said, yeah, if I get Chris to do it, first of all, I'll do it. And then Chris said, oh, I'm in, let's do it. And of course, he doesn't sing. I'm the singer, and I'm used to singing harmony to Greg. We tour around, and I was a bass player, background singer, and the song co-writer of the new stuff, but I didn't sing the lead vocal, right?
Yeah.
And I had to learn the songs, and I realized, like somebody saw, like he did the Bruce Springsteen song all the time, For You. And man, that's got like 1,000 words in it, I realized I hadn't sang these things before. So it took me a couple of weeks of practice and getting up on singing the Greg stuff, because I'm used to singing my own stuff, which is a different kind of vibe.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it took a month, but what was interesting, I was worried about doing it. I said, these are Greg Kihn fans. They like me playing with Greg, but I don't want to act like I'm replacing Greg because I have to do the Greg Kihn show now without Greg Kihn. I said, maybe you'll sell 60 tickets, whatever. I don't know. I'm not feeling great about it, but we got to do something, so I'll do it. Well, both shows sold out in 2.5 days. So,
Oh, wow.
and all the DJs from the area came. A lot of people that are movers and shakers in Silicon Valley came. Some people from NVIDIA, and a lot of people couldn't get in because they were sold out. So it wound up that Greg is loved so much in this area, and of course around the world, really. I could probably do one in where'd we play there in New Jersey? We did a thing for Bruce Springsteen. I could probably do a acoustic show with Chris on the East Coast, on the Midwest, everywhere, and people just want to give Greg some love and say goodbye.
Sure. I never got a chance to ever see him live. I almost had a chance to when you guys were coming close to the area a few times, but I always seem to miss you all the time. And I did. There was one time I think you guys were coming to, I think doing a show either it was North Dakota.
Oh yeah,
you come to the North Dakota Fair, and I wanted to come see you guys, but then Greg said or somebody said that it wasn't going to be the type of show. It wasn't going to be the same type of show that you'd see. I think he went by himself, or you went with him, or something.
No, we did. It was a band show there. We got a dust storm drove us into an internal place instead of outdoors, but it was big. I think Night Ranger and Blue Oyster Cult were there too. It was big.
Oh,
and it went great. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Skylar was telling me a whole different story. I don't know. I was trying real hard to decide if I was going to show up or not, and then
maybe
he told me differently.
It might have been one that he did with Rick Springfield's band because Rick would take Greg.
Okay. There you go. That's probably what it was. That was like probably before the pandemic too. I think it was 2018, 2019, maybe.
Greg did 4 or 5 songs with Rick Springfield's band just so they could put another name on the bill, kind of thing.
I think that's what it was. He said he wasn't going to be performing that long, and he wasn't going to be there that long. So yeah. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
You guys have played everywhere anyway, so countless tours across America, and I'm sure you played overseas before, haven't you? Before?
Well, I lived over there. I mean, I was playing with Emerson, Lake and Palmer guys and Steve Howe and GTR. That's where I got my start in the late '80s.
That's right. Because you're also a legendary musician in your own right. You've done a lot of stuff, and how's the band 3 going, or 3.5?
Well, the 3.2 was. I think that's the last time we talked. Probably we spoke on 3.2, which were 2 albums out. I was working with Keith on a follow-up when he committed suicide, so that was an odd time, interesting time. But since then, I have this band 6x6 that has filled in, and along with Greg. I mean, Greg was the constant, and other things that come along, and for my own solo career. And 6x6 was Ian Crichton from the band Saga, guitar player, and Nigel Glockler's the drummer from the band Saxon. So it's a really great band. We have 2 albums out now.
I've heard of Saxon before. That is a good band.
Yeah, we're working on our 3rd album. So, there's always something going on here. You're talking to me. I don't know if you can see it or not. The board at the studio. You're in my recording studio now, which is a professional studio.
That's amazing. Just all those buttons alone, man, I tell you, can do so much wonderful, and probably a little craziness too.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the radio days. I mean, I never had a mixer like that, but I mean, it was almost close to it, though.
Yes, it's same thing, just smaller, just same deal. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! So how do you, as a guy who's been doing this for a long time, how do you know what right buttons to push and everything? I must practice, I guess, or
you hate to give all the secrets away, but there's 24 of the same thing going on here. So one of them, and then the other one, I'll show you this. The other one is the Pro Tools and all the
nice big monitor there. I bet you how big's the monitor? About 43 inches, maybe. Or so.
Well, this is a 65. This one's big.
Oh wow!
Okay. And all kinds of keyboards, and the main studio has the drums and all kinds of stuff out there. But I mean, it's like anything. Once if you love it, and once you get it down, it doesn't seem like work. You just do it, just what you
And
love.
and this has been your studio for a very long time, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you own
40 years actually. Almost.
okay.
Yeah.
So you own it. You're the boss, then, pretty much. Huh?
Yeah. That's not a big title to be the boss, but
Yeah, especially when you work with Greg, and so he was more like the boss, or did he give you creative control too, and like your ideas and stuff when you guys worked together?
well,
And stuff? I imagine he did.
yeah, when Greg's in here, he and I are sitting here with all this equipment, and we write the songs and we do the basic tracks to it. And I'll do drums and bass. Greg will play some guitar. We'll get the vocals going. It takes 3 or 4 weeks when we were doing it for him to go back and forth because we only did Thursdays,
Yeah.
and it sort of gave him time to write the words and think about it, what it's going to be. And he'd come in and we'd do a version, and either I'd say, well, sometimes I'd say, it doesn't sound like Greg Kihn singing. He go, what do you mean? Well, you're doing that rough thing, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear Greg Kihn's voice. He goes, oh, he'd clean it up. We do it again. You know what I mean? We just work it, massage it. And there's some great song. I got to tell you, when people hear this, they're going to say, wow, he had it up to the last minute. He really did.
Now working together as long as you guys have, I'm sure not every time is a cool time. Have you ever had any major issues with each other because of the work you're doing at all? Or
No,
have you always gotten along?
since you never saw a live show, the thing about Greg was he's one of those guys that has so much charisma that you feel like he cares about you and you care about him. It's just there, It's really, really something special. And that's another reason his radio show works so well. And we'd leave in the middle of working here. We'd go down to Starbucks, and if he's talking to me in that big voice of his, somebody would say, I know that voice. And he'd go, oh, yeah, I'm Greg Kihn. He'd shake their hand and talk to him for a minute. He was just an easygoing, really cool guy. And really, the only thing, sometimes I sort of thought I pushed my luck by saying, Greg, you can do better than that. I know you can do better, but those words suck, because he let me do that. He wanted it to be really good. And once in a while, I thought, boy, one of these days he's just going to give it to me and go, well, what the hell? But he didn't. He'd go back, he'd go home and work on him. He'd come back, and usually when they're done, he'd say, oh, that turned out really nice,
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's cool because you always hear about stories about record or artists get mad at their record producer and all that stuff. Like so we'll say like the Buddy Holly story, for example. Even though Buddy Holly, as we know, never punches record producers or anything like that, like they portrayed in the movie. But I mean, I've heard of things like that though, like there's people not getting along, or the company itself just doesn't want to work with the artists anymore because they're just too. They've gotten too much money or something, and what I'm talking about. Oh, that capital bullshit and everything.
You, as a producer, you get to know the artist too. Like I was not only in Greg's band, but I'm the recording engineer and playing most of the instruments. And he's got his guitar out, and he's the genius writing the lyrics and get those hooks, But he was such a genuine, really good guy that we just early on said, look, we don't have time for bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Let's just make this a really good record. Let's make this a really good song. And he was not the guy with perspective. He was the guy where the creativity just flowed out of him. And he had a million things in his brain all the time, never at a loss for words, always in a good mood, ready to rock. And sometimes you come in and you go, I got nothing. And I'd say, well, what'd you do this morning? I'll put on my shoes. I said, well, that's not going to make a song. And then on the last album, he came in and said, well, I passed this trailer thing and they're driving in and the woman had a pink flamingo in her yard. I said, that sounds like a good song, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he just started working. He started singing. I started playing some riff and guitar, and it's a really cool song.
Yeah, you guys made a video out of it too. That's how cool it became. Yeah, I remember that because I don't know if you sent me an album or not, but somebody sent me either a physical copy or a digital copy of it. I remember, and yeah, it was yeah. I mean, it was great to finally see a new album.
Just fun stuff, and Rise ripping a great solo on there. And at the tribute concert that Chris and I did, I brought out the original version of Pink Flamingo's video, which is too raunchy and a little nasty for actually, his manager, Greg's manager said, we can't play that.
Oh my goodness! Oh my
Yeah.
goodness! So I mean, with knowing him for as long as you can, I mean, or as long as you have, I mean, what did you know? Because I had no idea that he was even sick. I had no idea that it was, that his life was about ready to come to an end. That shocked me, and I'm sure most of the world.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you were around him in his final days.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it was a little bit of a shock. They thought he had early onset Alzheimer's. Greg smoked weed morning, day, and night. He smoked a lot of weed, like you.
That's yeah.
And that's not a problem at all until maybe something is a problem. And then since he smoked his whole life, and he smoked cigarettes before too, it caused him some issues. And the Alzheimer's, I mean, it just, I don't know. Maybe it was dementia. It came on fast. Within a year, for me going, gee, what's going on here? You can't remember those words, and which is no big deal because I can't remember any words. It became where he just wasn't the guy he used to be. So it was a shock, and he was only 75 years old, so way too young. It's
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. No, I
very
mean,
sad.
uh, yeah, I don't know. Last year, even for myself personally, it was just kind of a crazy year, just losing a lot of people and stuff.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of friends, a lot of like some family members, all that, all around the same time too. It's like, what the fuck, It's like
Uh,
people aren't. They're supposed to give each other time to grieve until somebody else passes away. It's not supposed to be a whole bunch of people at the same time or whatever.
yeah.
Try dealing with that, man. I tell you, holy shit, dude. Ugh.
Well, it's as you get older, the the weakest of the bunch of us, I guess, they start to drop off, and for whatever reason, they're the weakest. My dad died at 76, 78, and he was
Wow.
stronger, smarter, and faster than me, and all of a sudden he was gone. You just never know.
Well, my father's 73. He'll be 74 pretty soon. He seems to be doing okay, but I don't, I mean, I don't know. He's outlived all his friends anyway. It seems like I don't know. It was just weird.
Yeah.
We just had another friend just pass away here about a couple weeks ago. Who actually that friend actually was one of the reasons why I got into Greg Kihn in the first place. Believe it or not, because growing up, my dad got me into music. Like I never performed or anything, but we always loved to listen to radio. We always loved to listen to music.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had like a nice big collection, of records and
Albums.
CDs
Yeah,
and everything.
cool.
Yep. And we would listen to like he liked to make mixtapes. Ever made a mixtape before? I imagine you have. Like a cassette tape and whatever, and record your
Long
favorite
time
songs.
ago on reel to reel. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we did it on cassette tape,
Cassette.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Most
yeah,
people. I had to start recording reel to reel early because I was into recording, want to figure out how the Beatles got their sounds and how Cream got their sound. And
yeah,
so I had a
yeah.
stereo tape recorder with one mic trying to get these sounds, right? So I did on reel to reel, but yeah, most people are on cassettes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what I used to go do is I used to go to the local Pomida or pharmacy or whatever in town, and then you could buy like a whole stack of blank tapes, like 90-minute tapes or whatever.
Yeah.
I was out there the best. Yeah, I was out there the best, and then they eventually got 120 on each side, which I was surprised too. That they had that lengthy. But anyway, my dad recorded a bunch of tapes, and on that tape he had the breakup song. I think he might have had Jeopardy on there too, but
Yeah.
he's kind of the guy who likes more of the hits of the deep tracks, and I'm totally opposite. I like to dig in somebody's collection. Like I appreciate the hits. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
They're great, and as we talked about with the terrestrial radio and everything. But it's like I like to dig into somebody's collection if they've done something and see what other things they've done and question like why is that not on the radio. But that's what I like about Spotify, because at least Spotify has everything that Greg has done, at least that we have right now anyway. So
Well, Spotify has ruined the music business. So
well, sure, absolutely. I'm not happy with the fact that you guys don't get much back in return. But
can't make any
yeah,
can't make
but
any money, and nobody wants to buy. They buy vinyl, but it's not as it might be popular in the maybe 1,000 units, but it's not
Yeah.
that big. I mean, 1,000 units is nothing.
Well, yeah, especially when you charge it almost like damn near $30 a pop. Why can't you just charge 10 cents like used to find in the record shops back in the day? I know things are different now, but
Yeah.
back in the day when you were a kid, I'm sure you're like, oh, there's 5 cents, a quarter for a
It
record or whatever.
wasn't that cheap, but
Oh, okay. Well, back here in the Midwest, we get most of our stuff in rubber sales and stuff, and
oh
or
yeah.
we buy from other people. So they
No, I
charge.
think an
They don't charge
album
much.
was probably $5 or $6 in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I suppose if you buy it from a store, but if you're going with a different route, to save money or whatever, at that time.
Oh yeah.
But
There's
we didn't
always
have
the
a whole lot
used
of
record
stores.
bins. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, like I go to Walmart and it's like greatest hits this, greatest hits that, and no really new stuff. At least not at our Walmart anyway. And yet you're charging like $30 a pop or whatever, and it's like just for a new restoration of it, pretty
Right.
much.
And a lot of
Yeah.
people buy those and don't even open them. They don't even play them. They don't have a record player.
Well, yeah, because the record players that they sell us are all so freaking cheap. You don't know if you even want to buy them because you don't know if you're gonna get that good sound, and most of them don't sound as good. Like I got, okay. Granted, I mean, I like music and everything, so I listen to music a lot. But I have a nice stereo. I have a nice Klipsch surround sound system
Oh,
that I
nice.
invested into, and I have two 12-inch 400-watt subs and everything, and I have it all set pretty good, and they're all nice big floor stand speakers and everything. It sounds amazing. Now,
Nice.
I understand it, records are supposed to have that great sound and everything, but I feel like when I'm listening to Spotify or I'm listening to a CD or something, to me that sounds I like clean sound. I don't like hisses and pops and stuff. I like something that sounds like it was just made, even though it's been like 50 years old or whatever. I don't know. Are you more of a traditional guy though, I suppose, with
Well, I I have. I don't know if you can even see them here. I have huge studio monitors. These are Myers. Myers are the best thing you can buy. Then I have a little
Okay.
radio kind of tones. I mean, I got stuff all over the place here. I mean, there's a 2-inch tape machine. Quarter, I am into sound at the highest end of the quality. My Pro Tools, it's a $35,000 unit. That's the highest quality you can get. So when I record, that's what I'm looking to do. Now, when it's squashed down to MP3s, it loses a lot. I think a CD sounds the best now as far as quality. A vinyl, you have to have a super good light. It has to track light, but still get the full depth of the groove. So you have to have a really expensive turntable for it to sound good. But they
Sure.
do if you have a good one.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why when I said the word clips, you seem to you've heard of clips before as far as the
Yeah, fantastic. That's a great system you have. Yeah.
yeah. They're next year they'll be celebrating their 80th anniversary. They come from Hope, Arkansas, so
Yeah.
it's technically an American company or whatever. Because Paul
Yeah.
W. Clips was the guy that created. They use a lot of Clips speakers back in the day for concerts and stuff. Like the big ass speakers and everything and all that stuff. I don't know if you guys ever did at all for on the road or anything, but I'm sure you guys had to use something. What type
No,
of equipment did
originally
you
it
guys
was
use?
Altec and JBL PAs, the big ones, and then it became, I mean, the Myers and Showco made some of their own stuff. I mean, the big concert systems, EAW. I mean, there's huge stuff now that's a lot smaller than it used to be that sounds so much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. Now, since you live around the California area, I have to ask: did you attend the NAMM show this year?
I didn't. I've showed you so much equipment here. I have all the latest of everything, but look what else I have to buy. These are Telefunken from the early 70s, maybe late 60s, like the Beatles would use at Abbey Road, Tube EQ, old compressors, Neve preamps. That's old stuff that cost a fortune. And the
Okay.
last thing I want to do is go see something else new that I want to buy. So if you know what I mean.
Oh, okay. So you would be spending your money on, this is better than what you have, so you need to buy this right now.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than the old stuff. None of the new stuff sounds as good as the old stuff, no matter what they say. They try, but it doesn't. And of course, I have a Neve console, so it doesn't get better than that. If you saw the Sound City when Dave Grohl got the board out of Sound City, you ever see that documentary?
I don't think I have.
You should watch that. Everybody in the world recorded at Sound City, and Dave Grohl got the board when they closed it down. This is a small version of that board, so the sound is really superb.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So then, as busy as you are, like, how often do you record? Like, how many clients do you have that come in and record with you, other than
I'm
Greg and
here.
whatnot?
Actually, I'm here Monday through Friday. I've been busy every Monday through Friday that I'm not doing my own stuff or on tour. So I get more business than I want. And, like today, I'm working on new 6x6 music. We have our interview.
Sure.
I've been spending a lot of time on the Greg Kihn stuff. People want to talk to me about that. And I'm all about making sure that Greg gets the love and the respect that he deserves, and yeah, hard for me to, every time I start talking about it, I get a little upset because we spent
No,
so much together,
I
you
I
know.
know.
I can't even describe the hole that it left in my life as far as probably my best friend. I saw him every week. We toured and have fun doing that. And then we were totally super creative together. There's nothing he could throw at me that I could come up with a chord or vice versa. I'd come up with a chord, he'd come up with a word, or he'd sing, whatever it was. So all that disappeared in one day. And it was really a kind of a rude awakening for me, even though I knew that it was happening. I saw him a couple weeks before he died, and he actually was doing pretty good. I was surprised.
That's how it always happens. It seems like,
Yeah.
everybody does better, and then all of a sudden, then it's over.
Yeah.
No, I hear you, man. I mean, that's why I wanted to chat with you and stuff, because I just, you probably knew better than probably most people did, and it's just, I wanted to find a way to do my own special tribute, because I've always been a fan, and I know back in the day that when I got a chance to interview him a couple of times, and that was all thanks to the work that you guys did to make that happen, and I could never repay you for that. I mean, I could never thank you enough, because I wish that we could have done at least a video interview at least once, but everybody was saying he didn't want to do that type of stuff anymore, and I just
Greg was always open to talking to people. That was part of the problem of making things happen in a bigger way. He was protected in a way that was, I'll just say, bullshit. It was just complete bullshit. Greg wanted to tour more. He wanted to talk to people. He wanted to put more music out. He was ready to do it. There was not a team to support that. So you could tell I'm a little angry about it, but that's just the truth.
Well, I thought he had a team, and that Skylar was supposed to take care of everything. Remember Skylar Turtle?
Next question. Next.
I see. That's where you and I have the similarity, because I think that guy kind of screwed me around too a little bit. We could have done a lot more with Greg and you guys as well when we had the opportunity, but he didn't want to make it happen. So
The Skylar did a lot of work for us. I have nothing bad to say about Skylar. He's a great guy, and he's doing really well for himself now. But he wasn't in the control.
Okay. Well, it's all right. It's all right. We'll move on. We'll move on. But the last time I ever got to talk to anybody in Greg's family was Ryan, and or Ryan as we call him for short. We did an interview back in 2021, and that was through Zoom, and it was good. I mean, he was really, it seems like he's a busy guy too, and it's all right. Other than just going to Thailand and doing, being in bands and stuff, I've seen lots of videos of him performing. I've heard him perform. I've
Yeah.
seen listen to his music and stuff. I mean, I know he's trying to be different than his dad, but I mean, I would hope one day that he would like to do like an actual album, maybe not similar to his dad, but maybe do like a tribute, maybe like a little, like, do his songs like in his own special way.
Greg was a very basic 6-7 chord kind of guy, but he was like John Lennon. He played those chords. His rhythm was really good. It was right on. That he was the singer. He was the star. He didn't need to play lead. Rye is a different animal. Rye is one of the best guitar players I've ever played with. And I've worked with Steve Howe, Ian Crichton from Saga, all these guys. I mean, these are great guitar players. Rye, he could sit next to anybody. He took lessons from Joe Satriani. He can play any style. He even plays in a soul, like funk band, dance band when he's in town. And he's tremendous. I don't know what it would take. I tried to get him to basically take over the band as his dad. Take your dad's place You look a
Sure.
bit like him. You know, you
Yeah.
got some smoking solos. We'll divide up the vocals. I can sing it, but he sings, but not all the time. And let's continue on. And let people want to see this. We'll make it a tribute to your dad. And then in a couple of years, you know, I'll step out and you continue your career. I just couldn't get him to do it. And
Sure.
it's a lot of work. Music's a lot of work. You have to be a complete lunatic like me and keep doing it, and because you can't do anything else. That's what you want to do, you know.
Well, you've been very lucky that you haven't had to worry about everything else, because I'm sure. I mean, do you ever wonder what you would have done if you had just been a normal individual just doing a 9 to 5?
I know
You know?
completely. The only thing I could have done, and I'm pretty good at it and don't want to do it, is mow lawns. That's it.
Oh, okay.
There's
I
nothing
suppose.
else.
Yeah. Okay. You can be
But
one of those guys that mow grass all the time. You're
what I've
around too, I
done,
suppose. So.
what I've done in my career, I mean, I built speaker cabinets, bass guitar cabinets. I would love everything about it. I have a recording studio. I have a big enough place. Emerson, Palmer, Greg Kihn, everybody came and practiced and recorded here. I like doing everything. I have a green screen in here for doing videos, everything. I like everything about it, and that's what's kept me viable, I guess. You know, and then plus the creativity, like a Greg. It's just I always have an idea, so I've been lucky, really lucky.
Oh, very, very much so. Now, we mentioned about Greg also being an author. I suppose you read all his books too, huh?
You know, I have not.
No.
I have
Okay.
them.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
gave them to me, but
Yeah.
I love music, and I write a lot of songs. And a lot of times I'll look at a title of a book. I'll say, oh, and you look and see what it's about a little bit. And that's as deep as I want to go into it, because I don't want to totally, when I'm writing songs, dive into something I've read. I want it to be, how do I explain it? I don't know, something that like on the surface, the meaning, the feel, whatever, and then make a song out of it. So I don't really read much.
Okay. Well, no,
Never have.
that's understandable. I mean, I don't either. I mean, I have books. I like movie books. I like books with pictures and stuff. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I prefer like like an audio version. Somebody reading it to me, because that's like that just helps me a lot better understand what's going on if somebody
Yeah.
just reads it to me. Do you think if that was an option, that you would do that if you? I mean, technically it is. I guess it's audio, I guess, or whatever, or whatever,
If I had the time, I'm so busy. You got to figure I
or
have
audible.
a commercial recording studio. I'm working with
Uh-huh.
clients, do some music every day, and then I have to write songs for with Greg. But I would write 6x6. I have to do that, and I have a solo album they want me to do, so I have to write those songs. And I have a little rental property. We have a place in Cabo we go to. I have a little studio in Cabo. I'm so busy that I just that's all I can do. I can't do anything else. And the touring,
So
playing
yeah,
live.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Well, I was just going to ask you, like, what do you do when you do have free time? I mean, I know if it is very little, I mean, it's different for a musician, I'm sure, compared to a regular person.
no,
You
no,
can't tell me
actually,
that.
you take the job. I mean, I love what I do. I don't ever call it a job. I just consider it a job. The studio, the writing a song, the touring, it's all work. And you want to sort of cleanse the palate. That's why we go to Cabo. We go like 3-4 times a year, and we spend 5 days there, maybe a week, my wife and I, and we love it there. And of course, I have a little recording system, so sometimes it's hard to let go, but then after you let go, it's hard to come back. You go, oh, that was really nice, man. The weather and
So,
the margaritas.
you're going all out on that trip, but yet you're still thinking about work and everything. That
It's
you got to just get away from that. That's why you have that.
you get away from it, but it gives you something new to write a song about. So I got
Oh,
some guitars there and stuff. And when the inspiration hits, you don't sit down and say, well, I'm going to write a song now. You go, oh, what's that say? Renegade in the back of you. Oh, Renegade. Oh, I'm going to write that down. Maybe tonight when I'm trying to go to sleep, go, oh, Renegade. I got a song I'm going to write. Right.
sure.
Things just pop up when they pop up. It's sort of magical the way it appears. So, you got to be ready.
But you ever have time to go like to a movie or anything like that, or just unwind a little bit, or
Yeah.
in your area or anything?
We'll go to the new movie when it comes out. We kind of like to see it in a theater, and we have a dine-in theater very close to the studio here, where you can order dinner and stuff, which is kind of nice. So
Oh,
we
wow.
do that. But we'll watch, every night, a little cleanse of the palate with a TV show. Something. What are we watching now? I can't think of the guys what it's called.
Like
It's
a
not
new
Reacher.
show.
Reacher is one of the movies we like, and
Okay.
John Wick we like, but I forget. It's
Sure.
cleansing, so I don't pay that much attention. It just kind of passes through me and erases my day, or I'd be singing the song that I worked on all day while I'm sleeping.
Hey, that probably has happened. You have to ask your wife, do I ever sing in my sleep enough?
Yeah.
Well, so let me ask you this question then. Since you've been doing this for so long, I mean, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to remember about you? I mean, without being too morbid about it.
You know, I usually ask people what they want me to say at their funeral. So
Oh,
I don't think in the terms of a legacy for me. I think that it's important that everybody does their best work every day and treat people the way you want to be treated, and in some way that all comes back to you. And if it needs to happen in real time for me. I'm always saying, what can I do tomorrow to achieve my goals and to treat people better than I'm treated, even though I'm not treated poorly. You know what I mean? I want to give more than I get, and I don't think about anything past that. To make a difference, you can only do something for the circle you can control, that circle of influence around you, and I think that's an important thing in life. And when that's done, it's done.
so do you have anybody that will be willing to take over if something were to happen?
I have a son. My son Rob is a musician and does hip hop stuff and makes little soundtracks for licensing and stuff. He's doing very good. I say little because
Yeah.
it's like a minute and a half kind of things to use behind McDonald's commercials and stuff.
Okay.
And he's doing really well getting into that, but it's tough these days for a musician. So yeah, I mean, this will be his.
Okay.
In fact, a lot of this equipment and stuff, when I get something new that's old, like this microphone, Telefunken Mile, bringing it in here, that costs $10,000 that I use on my 3.2 albums. I'm thinking of him when I do that, thinking, yeah, he'll need to have this because not a lot of people will have them,
That's
20
right.
down the road, 30 years down the road. But yeah, I think it'll be a different business model. But right now, I mean, I have a great Yamaha C7 grand piano. I have a Hammond B3. These are things that studios don't have anymore because they have them in the box in the digital form. They
Sure.
they do not sound like the real thing sounds. They sound good, but you cannot capture that piano in a room. And so I get a lot of business people wanting to come here and do their albums and do piano and stuff too. Real
So,
stuff.
so
I
we
think
could say we could say you're like Joe Walsh. You're an analog man.
Well, as far as the instruments, I'm not recording wise. I think digital captures it as good as it can be captured now. But when you listen to acoustic piano in the room, it's the vibrations and the overtones and stuff, they go out in there and they sort of cancel each other out in different ways I don't even understand. When you sample it and put it into a keyboard, like I have one right here in front of Pro Tool,
Yeah.
you lose that. It's not
Uh-huh.
there. Still sounds good, but it's not that thing in the air that you can record if you record it that way. And it's just different. And the Hammond B3, same thing. There's all kinds of things like that. Guitar amps, they have nearly perfect for microphones and everything else in the box. They sound fantastic.
Wow. That's amazing, man. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time to let me talk to you and do this little tribute and everything. I hope people like it. And I didn't know who else to ask, and I figured you're the closest to him that person who always responds back to me right away. So
Yeah.
I figured, well, let's do it.
Yeah, but the Greg Kihn internal family was kind of small. With Rye and Thailand, Greg's daughter doesn't get involved in the music. His wife is very shy, so she doesn't get involved now. Although she came to the shows and signed some books for the people we gave them away to, which was really nice.
Sure.
And Skylar and is sort of out of the Greg Kihn thing now. I mean, they still have some stuff, but there's just not much going on with the management end of things because Greg's gone, you know. So there's not many people. Larry Lynch, the drummer, the original drummer, he's a great guy to talk to.
Okay. Oh well, I mean, you'll have to get me in connection with him, maybe, because I mean, I'm always looking for people to even do my actual show. Because when we do the show, like I don't know if you ever watch any episodes or not, but it's a lot different. It's like your adult, adult humor type of show, but it's also we have guest stars and celebrity guests and stuff. So this would have worked just fine on a Monday night as well. But I figured, well, let's do it on a Wednesday if you're able to, and I was willing to accommodate you regardless. So it doesn't matter.
Appreciate it. It's good talking to you, Sean. I probably should get work too. So
all right, man. Well, we appreciate you and thank you again. And I will never forget this.
Well, don't forget Greg. He's got some great music people haven't heard before. And the new stuff when it comes out, we'll make sure that one way or another you know about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right,
well, thank you, man. Bye-bye.
See you later.
All right. All right, everybody. And that was Greg Kihn, one of the original people that Greg had on his band in the last few years before he passed, Mr. Robert Berry. I hope everybody enjoys this interview. I'm going to play the song for you one more time before we end this, just so anybody want to hear it one more time. Just my little tribute to Greg as we're doing this tribute to Greg. We'll see you next time for another great edition of Renegade Radio and these exclusive interviews.
Out on the highway as he roams, legendary man, happy as he can. Got lucky, breaking up the show. Run! He's got a purpose, no fear in his stride, chaos in his wake, taking it in style, tearing through the city, making headlines, Jeopardy disrupted, a legend on the rise. With a roar in his heart, hey, hey, he's the man of the hour, watch him play. Out on the streets, he's making waves. Legendary man, oh yeah, no chains can bind his soul. Got lucky, breaking through control. Run! Legendary man, out on the streets he's making waves. Legendary man, got lucky, breaking up the show. Run, he's got a purpose, no fear in his stride. Oh no, chaos in his wake, taking it in style, tearing through the city, making headlines. A trail of thunder, he